Alrighty, I get this question all the time. Dion, what stops people getting momentum? Why do some people start, they don't finish? Like, does it always have to be pain? Does it always have to be desperation? All that stuff? No. So I've created the magic triangle. For those of you that know me, I really like my triangles because it's a very strong shape. But this is what I call the magic triangle for momentum. Okay, this is what I follow, what I've learned over the years, and I create momentum very, very quickly. Whether I use that momentum and I shoot really, really high, do really, really well, or I just head downhill faster and I crash and burn and tumble and get back up and start again. Creating momentum is something I'm very effective at. So this is something I just want to share with you, and this is the other core modality that those in the entrepreneur space are learning, those on the online course, those that come to our events and retreats. This is how you get going. So the magic for all of this is you. In here is you. It is your story, it is your skills, it is your experience, it can even be your idea, your perspective, even your opinion. The magic is always you, not anybody else. Okay, anything else is a process or an environment. So I just want you to know that the center of all of this is you, and primarily your story. Yeah? So there are three components in this triangle to get over here, and there are three M's. Magic 3 M's. All right, where we want to get to is here. Momentum. So we want to go in that direction. We want to build momentum. Here's the two components, just like our VIP triangle is think, feel, do. The first one here is mindset. And the second one up here are the mechanics. And there are things that sit underneath all of this, which we'll go through next. So to get to momentum, you've got to have the right mindset, and you've got to have the mechanics. You've got to have the thing, and you've got to have the product or the service or the process. You need all the stuff. Now in sales, which flipping annoys me, there's a saying, you sell the sizzle, not the sausage. You sell the idea, which is the mindset, and you hammer on the pain, then you sell your process. All right, drives me insane. I'm not interested in the sizzle, I want the sausage because I'm hungry. Okay, so most of our people are only interested in the mechanics because they're in survival mode. I need the product or service to sell, to get money, to pay the mortgage. The mindset is desperation. There's stress and pressure and all the rest of it. I don't have time to do breathing exercises and meditation and all that stuff. Now, before all the yogis over here start attacking me going, well, if you knew these skills and you could... No. We are driven by survival. When you're in survival mode, if you want to get momentum in what you're doing for sales, to get money to pay the mortgage, you need the product or the service. If you are only selling the mindset, the idea, you're just recruiting, you know what that's called? That's called a pyramid scheme. All right? Because there's no thing, there's no product or service. Yeah. So this clearly shows the two camps. Okay? We come from the military, so it's all mechanics. What is the process? How do you get from A to B? Where are you? Where do you want to go? Who are you? Who do you want to be? It's all in the mechanics, in the process. So if you've got the process with your magic, you can run the triangle straight from your magic into mechanics and get momentum that way. It's the fastest way, right? However, you're dealing with human beings, right? So you're going to have to deal with their minds and their hearts. So I'll grab a red pen for that, and I'll show you that piece, because that's a lot of the fuel. All right, so the red pen. In here is survival mode. When you're in survival mode, mindset is just survival. Don't have time to learn stuff, read stuff, do any of that sort of stuff. You just need the mechanics to get to momentum. All right? Because what are we driven by most? Is our emotions. What sits underneath all of this in the mindset? Over here we have logic and we have emotions. So we have our heart and we have our brain. That's a brain. All right? We have our heart and we have a brain. Our thoughts and our feelings. Over here is the action. All right? For momentum, we all know we have to take massive action. You hear it all the time. Take massive action. With what? With what mechanics? I take massive action and thinking and podcasting and affirmations and all this stuff and the law of attraction. Like, you've got to have the mechanics. You've got to have something that you're sharing, a book, a product, a service, or something. You've got to have the thing, right? Now, that's if you're under stress or pressure. If you have the time and you have the money, then of course you start with the mindset. Take your time, study, plan, prepare, do the workshops, have everything all set to take massive action. But we forget one really important thing. This is about momentum to where? So this is all to get you to your vision. All right, so over this side is where the vision is. Ta-da! So if you don't have the vision, if you don't have the vision board and everything else, this strategy will never get you there. Yeah? So I've started here. What stops people get momentum? Because you've got to have the thing. This retreat is how to build your ecosystem within 20 days. 20 people, 20 days, 20 and done. Yeah? Along that journey, we'll share some mindset stuff. We'll make sure you've got all the mental health and all the emotional stuff covered as part of this. But we're doing this. We're just building the thing. Building the ecosystem and getting marketing. And so we can take massive action and get some sales in and make some money and pay your mortgage and help heaps of people. Whatever your thing is designed to do. All right? And then as you start getting momentum, you'll learn this as we go through. Here's a really, really interesting word. And I believe this is in the head, not in the heart, not in the head. Is belief. The belief that you have in yourself is the critical component for all this. Because here's the issue, whānau. The magic is you. Right? You're the magic. Your story is the magic. Your story is what you are creating the mechanics for to get out there and get momentum. It is you sharing the logical process of what you do combined with the heart and the reason why you do what you do that creates all of this. Because the vision is for you to help other people that have been through what you're going through. Or your vision is to help someone else who's having a problem that you have the solution to. It's all going this way, but it all comes on your belief. And this is what you have to believe. You have to believe in you. That is a massive challenge. There are people that I work with that are so inspirational. They inspire me, and they don't think. The logic says their story doesn't have any value. Their heart says, I'm not as important as anyone else. I'm not worthy. All right? So if you don't have belief in your magic, none of this is going to work anyway. And this is where you see people that all of this is fake. They just have massive belief that they can run a process, get momentum and make money. There's no substance to it. There's actually no magic to it. Yeah? So this belief here, there's a couple of ways to build your belief. You build it yourself or you borrow someone else's belief. Now, I've got belief in all the people I work with. Otherwise, I wouldn't work with them. Right? And so they can borrow all my belief. I believe in you. Just run the process. I believe in you. Go on stage and share your story and watch what happens. Trust me. And then when they go on stage and people love what they say and they get stopped in the street to say, hey, I didn't think I mattered either till I heard your story. I started off in cooking classes through when I was on the benefit with my kids as a young mum as well. But when I asked them, well, I don't actually ask them, they get voluntold up here. Hey, you're speaking on stage and sharing your story. My story doesn't have any value, no belief. Yeah. As soon as they go on stage and as soon as someone else shares that they got a benefit, the belief starts growing, the vision starts growing. And so our roles as those that say we're here to empower people is to empower them. We take our power and we lend it to them until they can discover their own. And the fastest way is to share that belief into a mechanical process that they trust and follow and get flipping going. Yeah? And so one of our students has just been through that whole process and she's been on stage and her workshop is getting released this Thursday night. Why? She believes in what she has from her story will help another young woman that is in that same story in the past. Yeah, she's got massive belief that what she has value. And we've kept feeding that. Now, she didn't understand a lot of the mechanics. She doesn't have to. She just has to follow the process and it will become clear. So many human beings want to understand all the processes. They want to understand what the mindset is required before they'll take any action whatsoever. Okay? That's one of the 4 types of learning that we'll teach you as well. And that's fine. And of course, if you've got the time, do it properly, take your time, be diligent. You'll take risks at some point, but you can't get out of doing the work. You can understand the mindset that is required. You could understand the mechanics. You could even build your ebook. You could build your program. You could build everything, but be too scared to share it, to be too scared to market it. Fear side of things because of your belief in your magic. Yeah. So, my advice, you can't get away with not having the mechanics. You can have the mindset, but if you don't have the thing, the only option you've got to get massive action and momentum is to sell or promote someone else's thing. Affiliate marketing, fastest way to do it. Find something that you believe in, product or service, and then you take massive action and share that through the process, through the mechanics in someone else's system that's built it, and then take massive action until you can create your own. And then when you create your own, you make sure you've got massive belief in it or someone who believes in you. You need to understand what the process is to at least start and follow the process, and then that will become clearer. Then you must take massive action to get momentum. So I get an idea. My mindset is if I can see it, I can create this whole thing. Right? So I've been doing it for so long. Everything's set up here. Right? I can go straight to a whiteboard, straight to a flip chart, and then build it straight online. Anyone that's watching this video, put a comment and say, how would you create this product or service and sell this? And I'll create a map like that. That's what I do. So if I'm very, very clear on what it looks like, what you're telling me that you want, what is the thing that you want as the vision, this is the strategy that always works. Then look at the missions, the plans, and the tasks, and it won't take me long, and I'll map it out. I'll map it out on a flip chart or a whiteboard, or build it on our galaxy map, for those that know. Right? But this is what stops people. They either spend so much time in the mindset and working on the emotions and the logic and the belief, they never actually bloody do anything. Or they pay all this money for all these workshops and these seminars and all the rest of it to learn about maps, to learn about the process. They don't take any action. They don't actually do anything. All right. So how we help people up here is we get very, very clear on the vision first, which is our vision mapping course. All right. Be very, very clear on it because it's your imagination. No one can tell you can't do it in your imagination. I can do 1,000 press-ups in my imagination. Can't do 1,000 press-ups physically though. Unless I'm staging them as I go through. So your imagination has no limits. So you can create your vision. And working back to the strategy, that's the map. That's one of the first parts of the mechanics, is the map. Once you have the vision and you have the map, then you just got to make peace with these things and do the bloody work. All right. So this event that's coming up is 20 and done. So in 20 days, you'll build your whole ecosystem, the whole lot, the whole thing done. You'll learn this on the way through, and we'll give you those courses to underpin that. And that'll kick off with a 7-day retreat for 20 people in the room with myself and Keenan Paiwai. And then we've got a special VIP instructor who's just a flippin' ninja at the mechanics of automation, which is Sarah Cordner, right? So that's why. That's how it works. That is Dion Jensen's magic triangle for momentum. If you want anything else, reach out, and then I'll share it, and I'll wrap this together in a presentation and a course so that people can get access to it as well. Because right now I can take this video, split it up into lessons, create an online course, create a sales page, attach a Facebook ad campaign to it, and this could be live tomorrow. And all my first brand new courses I just put out there at $100. Because anyone that's willing to invest $100, all right, they take action, they'll learn the mechanics, and this will just keep running around. Really, really important. The momentum is also known in a few books as Big Mo. So momentum is known as Big Mo. All right, which is not my saying. I'll get the book reference. So when someone says, how's it all going, Dion? I say, oh, Big Mo is going hard. So momentum has showed up. So we can always create massive momentum up here at the Line Academy. Protecting Women Global, Successful Soldiers, or anything that Dion Jensen's doing, because we have the map. We have the process. We know how this all works. So a couple of questions for you. What level of belief from 0 to 100% do you have that your story has value to another human being? At what level do you understand how this works? At what level do you understand what the mechanics are that are required? What do you understand are the emotional challenges and how you actually run this process. All right, hearts and minds. And then, what action are you willing to take? Now, there's 4 types, all right? So there's linear, they do one thing at a time. That's fine. If that's you, one thing at a time, be diligent, take your time, all right? There's the chaotic process of like, let's go. You just go take massive action, all right? Then you'll have the careful ones that are more emotional. They'll do a little bit, see how it feels, a little bit, see how it feels. And they'll take a little bit of action and it'll build really, really quickly. Or you'll just do the whole lot at once and it'll just make sense to you, all right? It's a really cool process. And so we had an old saying in the instructor world, if you can't explain it on a blank piece of paper, then you don't understand the process well enough. Yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. And it's a lot of fun. And it's not very scary at all when you actually can see the map. And we've got programs for every single part of this. So if you find out that, hey, listen, I don't want people to know my story. You know, I don't want my face on all of this, Dion, but I want these lessons to go out there. That's the vision. Or I could write an anonymous book or do an anonymous course. Or I just want people to get access to this, but I don't want to be attached to that story. Cool. That's just another process in the mechanics. You just do a faceless one. But if you are someone that's like been banging away at this and it hasn't happened for you yet, it'll be here or it'll be there. And what's the test if what I say is true? Do you have momentum or not?